Fantastic Four. Sorry. Yeah. I finally saw this movie. I really wanted to go Thursday night. You know, Marvel movies always go Thursday night, and this is the one time I didn't because I decided to pick up a shift. I just really needed those extra hours, so I said, "Hey, you need me?" They're like, "Yep, we need you. Come in." So I came in, and I just didn't have time to see it. So I was off at like 3 o'clock. There was showtime at 3 o'clock. I went right after my shift. And you know what? Honestly, I'm glad I did that because while it was busy for this movie, I don't feel like at work I was at risk of being spoiled at all. And if I was, I felt like I didn't care that much because genuinely, whatever. And honestly, seeing the movie, this is a spoiler review. I will do what I do with Marvel reviews, which I do non-spoilers. I do spoilers. There really isn't that much to spoil though. This movie's pretty. If you've seen the trailers, you know what you're gonna kind of get, and they did that. And I'm not really all over this one. Like some people, maybe it's just because I saw Superman this month and Superman's better, but I do not feel like this movie did a lot for me. I do think it's good and a really good Fantastic Four movie, and I definitely would watch it again, though not in the theater. I do think, though, for me, this movie is missing some pieces to really catch my eye personally. Let's start with what I liked and the non-spoiler thing. I really like the tone of this movie. Uh, the like we have a time limit of how long we're supposed to do this. Though I do think though, I'll get this more into my spoilers. The time clock of what's going on wasn't properly explained. Like I kept forgetting how much time they actually had. It felt like they had more time or less time at certain points. I was really confused at certain points. We're getting that more with spoilers. But I thought the family dynamic really worked. I thought that they really understood these characters, and they even got some details that I won't say are obscure, but they're obscure to the general public, really down pat in this, and I thought that was great. And yeah, the effects in this movie were surprisingly really good. I think that, everybody had their own moments to shine. They all had their character moments. Sue was probably one of my favorites, shockingly, in this movie, but Johnny was also great. The Thing was great, and Pedro Pascal was really good as Reed Richards, which I think he had the most to live up to because I really wasn't really sure if Reed Richards was a good choice to be Mr. Fantastic. Or not Reed Richards, Pedro Pascal, because he's a really great actor. I love him, but it's just like seems too obvious. Felt like they could have got somebody else, but no, he was fucking great in this, and I really can't see anybody else playing the role now. The score to this movie was really good, shockingly. Michael Giacchino and all them did a lot of the music for this, and just yes, please. That's great. So I like that. And yeah, I just thought the Galactus was great in this movie. Silver Surfer was great. I thought all of it really worked. But yeah, let's get into the rest of the movie. Spoilers now. I just didn't like this movie because it's 2 hours. And you're throwing the Fantastic Four at us. They do a good enough job explaining their origin. I didn't really need it fully recapped. I've seen enough cartoons, I've seen enough movies, comic books, right, to understand the Fantastic Four's origin. But they just throw so much at you with these characters so fast that I didn't feel like we got enough moments to really breathe in it. Like that moment where Ben goes into the church, this Jewish church, right? I want a moment where that he actually had a real scene there that was slow and a little bit more, or like elements of this movie that, like Galactus's time. They really didn't. I felt like for me at certain points, I'm like, wait, how much time do they have? Because it felt like I thought they had more time, and it was never really properly explained how much time Galactus was giving them. And I'm just like, what? And then even some of the exploration of Reed and Sue's kid, I'm like, we could have got more time to really explain some of that. I just felt like, yeah, they did a good job doing the family dynamic, getting these characters' personalities and throwing that together. But in terms of the plotting and in terms of just pacing the movie well, it felt well paced because it moved really quick. But when you stop and think about details of this movie and what needed fleshing out a little bit more, I just don't think it worked in the end. I don't think it's a bad movie. I think it's pretty good, but some people were calling this one of the best Marvel movies in a while. I just don't see that. I think it's kind of messy in quite a bit of places and kind of awkward and just not properly fleshed out and stuff. And, you know, I do kind of like that this is just a Fantastic Four movie and not a greater setup to Avengers and all this stuff, kind of like we all thought it was gonna be. But it also does make me go, wait, if they're not in our universe, where are we going with this? I'm sure they have a plan. I'm sure they got everything figured out. But it did feel like a lot of it was to be a tribute to Jack Kirby, but it does make the MCU a little bit messier in some ways. So I'm not really certain. I do like a lot of the Jack Kirby tributes. I think the movie was fun, had its own tone, vibe, and style. But I definitely was a little mixed on a lot of things with this movie, even if I liked the movie overall. And if you're a Marvel fan, of course you gotta check this shit out. But I don't know, I do like how they handle Galactus and Silver Surfer because it very much seems like okay, shoving them into this black hole abyss does mean that hey, Galactus and Silver Surfer could come back, and also the fact that they barely beat them means that there's still a threat that could come back even stronger in another movie, right? And so I think that's a clever idea, and but we'll see. I didn't think any of the post-credit scenes are really a note, like oh, we got a hit of Robert Downey Jr. Okay, Doctor Doom is coming. I don't know. I like the movie. Just it was not what not my favorite movie Marvel's put out this year. Honestly, it's still Thunderbolts, and I actually like Captain America more than this. Sue me, I guess. So this seems to be the one people are most into, but I just don't feel like it fully came together for me, even if I do think it was good. And I honestly think this is a love blow to Jack Kirby and a lot of those influencers there, but I also just felt like just needed a little more plotting just to make things kind of more even for me.